Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So, Murodjon Akhmadaliev defeats Jose Velasquez by a lopsided but competitive unanimous decision. Now going into this fight, of course, Akhmadaliev was originally supposed to face his mandatory Ronnie Rios. Ronnie Rios got the bug, and, he pulled out, and they got this guy, Velasquez, as the replacement. Sometimes when promoters get these sort of replacement opponents, usually they turn out not to be great, but I have to say, Velasquez, he's a bit of a diamond in the rough. I was very impressed with him. Yes, he clearly lost this fight, but he's somebody I want to see fight again. Tremendously tough, good chin, good power, underrated defense as well in this fight. And, despite him losing this fight, it goes to show, if you take one of these fights at short notice, you take a bit of a risk, and you perform, your reputation will be enhanced. And that's the way I feel about Jose Velasquez. I want to see him back in the ring. I wouldn't mind seeing him fight other contenders at 118 or 122. But nevertheless, the fight started out and MJ Akhmadaliev was pretty much in control. Obviously boxing out of that southpaw stance, Akhmadaliev started this fight really aggressively, pushed back Velasquez to the corner, and he was landing or throwing several hard power shots, aiming to body and head. One thing I noticed about Velasquez very early on though, he had a really good high guard in this fight. He took a lot of shots on the gloves and the arms, and he did a good job of really protecting himself and minimising those power shots. Nevertheless, Akhmadaliev started very well, and he was landing shots to body and head, but I was just quite impressed with Velasquez's high guard. Not too much came back from Velasquez in the first round, and as the rounds went on, Velasquez slowly started to show a bit more ambition. He was coming forwards behind the high guard. He was a very small fighter. He's 5'2.5" for bantamweight, so he's very small, but he's very compact, likes to sit in that shell behind that guard, and he's really hard to hit clean. And as the rounds were going on, he was throwing more overhands, he was throwing body shots, and he was getting through. Nevertheless, he was being outboxed by Akhmadaliev. Akhmadaliev was far more active with his jab and just more active with his power shots in general, throwing combinations, better punch technique. In the first 6 rounds, I was really impressed with Akhmadaliev's footwork, boxing out of that southpaw stance, how he would pivot away, punch on the angle, things of that nature. I thought he was boxing really well in the first 6 rounds. So in the first 6, Velasquez was giving it a good go, but Akhmadaliev was winning all of the rounds. However, in round 7, Velasquez had a big piece of success. He managed to get closer to Akhmadaliev and get on his chest, and he landed a series of hooks to the body, and these shots definitely affected Akhmadaliev. I think he was hurt, he was trying to hold on, he felt the shots, and in round 7, Velasquez really put it on Akhmadaliev. Akhmadaliev finished round 7 pretty well, landed a really good left hand, which in my opinion momentarily buzzed Velasquez, but the commentary team never picked it up. But nevertheless, Velasquez won round 7. After round 7, Akhmadaliev was much more conservative in his approach. He wasn't throwing quite the same combinations. He wasn't, putting his shots together the same, and he was just a lot more conservative, boxing, throwing more or less one punch at a time, not quite, going through the gears or anything like that. But he was, after round 7, he was still outboxing Velasquez. Round 8, he was a bit dirty in my opinion. After he got hurt in round 7, Akhmadaliev would hold down the head of Velasquez, holding in general, punching after the bell. He got dirty in round 8 after a bad round 7. I don't like to see that. But nevertheless, and throughout the rest of his fight, it really was just Akhmadaliev utilising his feet, not standing in front of Velasquez quite so much, and just boxing him. Velasquez would still get through with some good body shots, some good overhands to the head, but he just wasn't he wasn't doing enough to win these rounds. He was competitive, he was making Akhmadaliev work, but he wasn't winning rounds. Apart from round 7, I never gave him a round in this fight. But nevertheless, on a few weeks' notice, what he did was pretty impressive. Good defense, like I said, really nice tight guard, hard to penetrate, good pressure. He seems to carry power as well. I want to see Velasquez back in the ring. I'll say that much. Whether it's at 118 or 122, he's good to watch. And given having a full camp, who knows how good this guy could be. But Akhmadaliev retains his WBA and IBF super bantamweight titles, and we'll see where he goes next. It looks like he's got to fight Ronnie Rios, who is still the mandatory. So apparently that fight's going to happen next, and hopefully after that we get Akhmadaliev versus the winner of Stephen Fulton and Brandon Figueroa. That's what I hope anyway. Anyway, share your thoughts below. What did you make of Akhmadaliev's performance? I felt it was a performance of two halves. I felt he looked really good in the first 5-6 rounds. His footwork, his punch variety, his combinations, his punch technique. I felt he looked really good in the first 6 rounds, but after the 6th round, when he got hurt in the 7th, he didn't look quite as sharp after that. So yeah, but he was alright. It was a solid performance. But share your thoughts below. It's been your guy Del Boy. Peace.